And those are people using the physics application in, on biology and human cells and animal cells. So I started doing research with biophysicists, nuclear engineers, nuclear chemistry, and it was really fun. I have now 10 students. I had 1 student when I was getting my promotion, but now I have 10 students in different branches. And as they learn, I learn as well. I learn new things.
Your trip to France, where does it stand regarding this?
Actually, it was this. It was one of the landmarks as well. At that time, I didn't understand what people are doing outside France. France is the first country, maybe in the world, using.
How long did you stay there?
I stayed for 6 months, and I had my son with me. So
and you did manage to make a translation?
Yes.
For the Supreme Council for Culture?
Yes. That was a postdoctor in one of the most prestigious schools in Europe, which is the École Polytechnique in Paris. So that made me change a lot of things. I had to learn more stuff about the computers and the applications and the particles. And when I returned, this is the part that I translated, the particle physics, in an encyclopedia called the Université de tous les savoirs, which is the University of all the knowledges. Let's make an S in the knowledge. I know you cannot do this in English, but let us say tous les savoirs, which is all the knowledges. They were talking about universe, the humanities, and technology, and machinery, everything, and even sociology. So that I translated the part in nuclear physics and particle physics and physics. It was enjoyable. That was really enjoyable.
And I think you had something enjoyable as well. It was turning from nuclear physics to medical physics. How was that?
Medical physics is that part.
You made a sort of cooperation with the European Institute for
medical physics. When I was in my trip in the European Center of Nuclear Physics, which is CERN in Switzerland, I met a very decent person who retired later and conducted a school for training people in the Middle East and in Third World for free on medical physics and radiation protection and everything about the nuclear applications and that field. And he was also a nuclear physicist in the start. So I learned from Yves at that time a few things about radiation protection, and he collaborated with me in 2009 and in 2012, and he gave lectures for free for the students. And then we made an agreement with him to train some of the Egyptian students and co-workers in France, and this was really enjoyable.
Maybe this motivates me to talk about those people who affected your life, inspired you. He was among those who affected your life.
Yes, those who affected also my path.
So and inspired you a little bit.
It is the French language also affected my life, because my mom.
But if we talk about persons, who affected you? And
the first one who affected me was my father. He was a very patriotic person and a scientist. And actually he spent 2 years of his life trying to get the English occupation out of Egypt, and he was a freedom fighter working with the army in order to get the English out of the camps in Suez Canal, and he fought with the university freedom fighters in 1956, and then he was working in other projects for the country. So that affected me, the way he loves his country and he wants to serve it. So this was the first thing, and also my grandfather as a politician.
Mm-hmm. As we said in the first part of this story, that we're going to dedicate a special part for your childhood. What you want to tell us about your childhood?
My childhood was very nice, actually. I was a very peaceful child. Maybe I became naughtier when I I got older, but I was the youngest daughter. My brother is older by 10 years, so I was the youngest daughter, and I was named after my aunt. So I was loved from my aunt, whom I carry the same name, and loved from my grandfather, whom I carry the name of his mom. And I was like a little chubby girl. So I was following my dad, and I used to go out with him, go to the cinema, go to work. So I wanted to be like the boys, not like the girls. And when I grew up, because I had an older brother, I used to go out with him. So I used to play football. So I was on the wrong track. I was not doing girl stuff. I was playing football, reading Tintin and Batman. This was not the girl
It was
story.
early on in your life when you received the Shankar Prize from India?
I was.
Tell us the story.
I have some of my my pictures when I was in the kindergarten. I used to love color and do what you call use squares and geometry to make colorful pictures. So my art teacher told me, you are the best. We have to present your drawings to a competition. So they sent it, and I just didn't realize that I will take a prize. At that time, I took the prize of Shankar in India, and it was like an encouragement. But I continued to play basketball and football and paint, because my neighbor, who was a cartoonist, used to encourage me and used to tell me, even you can become like Ingi Aflatun, which is a very known impressionist painter in Egypt.
If you talk about women, it's not easy in the East to find a woman in such a specialty like nuclear physics that achieves a lot. What would you say in this regard?
I would say that women are now, in this time, are more oriented to science than men. Science does not bring money, so men flee out of the path of science, but women want to prove themselves. So we have departments like the Department of Chemistry or Biology. They have women outweigh men, so I like 16% women and 40% men. In the physics department and math, because this is not a pleasurable work, and they need a lot of time and dedication, and very rough.
Then
work.
Women did a lot in this regard.
Yes, but we have like a percentage of like 40 women and 60 men, which is which is good. I think good.
Do you exert any effort to push women forward in this specialty?
Yeah, actually I have 7 out of my students are girls, and they are very stubborn, very good, and I have and I really cherish them and respect them, because some of them, they come from other governors, they come from Suez Canal, and some of them come from Fayoum, and some of them come from distant places just to receive science and listen to a lecture or attend a conference.
What did you do to push women forward in this regard?
I encourage them. I keep following my students, and I would tell them, come, and we have a nice school. So in order to stay in the school, we just make coffee and tea for each other, and we stay and make sandwiches in order to spend more time on work and our problems.
Do you find any difficulty, you being a woman, in penetrating such a speciality and
No, I didn't
part of
find a
science?
problem because of three things. Actually, my husband is a scientist, so this was a blessing. I didn't have a husband who didn't
Understand what you're doing.
what I'm doing and that I need time. So he is busy and I'm busy as well. He, if I don't understand anything, he would explain it for me. So this was a bonus, a good thing. And his father is an engineer, and his brother is an engineer, and his mom is like also she graduated from the faculty of fine arts. She's like also like an engineer. On my side, my brother is a geologist and my father is a chemist. So my life was like destined to be in the scientific.
Do you see
direction.
that Egyptian women are standing on the right path for the time being?
I don't think so. No.
What do they really lack?
What they do really lack, I heard several things lately in my work. Some of my colleagues, they got the wrong person to do this.
If you like to pass on some advice to them, what would you say?
Focus on what you want and be persistent. And do not get distracted. Obstacles, you will find it. Wherever you go,
this is not for the Egyptian or Arab women. It's for the world women.
All women. All women. We have more obstacles, yes, because we have to fulfill our lives. I tell my students, if you, I still believe that I have to keep myself as a lady. I don't want to forget that I am a woman as well. I have to go to a hairdresser. I have to wear nice clothes. I have to be to smell nice. So I tell them, don't forget that you are a woman. If you forget that you are a woman, you will have a miserable life. So be a successful woman, be a good scientist, but don't forget that you need to have a family, you need to have a husband, and you need to have children. This is being a good scientist. You will not end up in your
Maybe
life
the
as a
message will be lean in.
Yes, you have to work on. You have to be like an acrobat who walks on a very thin rope, and you have to have this stick in the middle.
Sometimes they get stuck in the family and their kids.
Yes, sometimes they get stuck in the family.
And they forget about their careers.
Just go out and think about yourself a little bit. And if the work absorb you, just get out of the work and think that your family needs you and this is a priority. So try to create a balance and be.
And it's being reflected on them later on when you are.
Yes, and I tell them when they tell me I have to. I'm like 30. One of my students, she's 30, and she's telling me I want to finish my PhD outside. I told her, okay, get married first, and I will give you the permission and find you a postdoctor there. But just take your husband with you. So she tells me, why, doctor, you are doing the same thing like my mom. I told her, but I want you to be happy. If you are a successful person, but you will not take this success with you in the house.
They have to lead a balanced life.
A balanced life is
whether at home or outside.
Yes, and let's not forget that we are women. We have to enjoy the same things. Let's not be too enjoyable. Let's not go buy 20 shoes or whatever they're doing, but let us be happy.
Not just forgetting about life achievements and studying the children, or vice versa.
Or vice versa, yes.